Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel and a brand new video. Today's video is something a little bit different for me. I am in a different area of the house, my kitchen diner. I'm going to be doing some meal planning today. For those who don't know me, my name is Helen, but you can call me Nell. I live in Bolton with my husband Tom and my cat Eric. What I like to do at the end of a week is plan my week ahead, because I do the cooking in this house unless Tom decides one weekend he wants to make something fancy, then he'll do that because that's the kind of food he enjoys cooking. But all the bog standard meals are down to me because he works late a lot of the time, so it just makes sense that I cook, and I quite enjoy it anyway. Sometimes I find it hard to find the inspiration for new recipes and things like that. So what I've done recently is picked up this book. I got it half price in Waterstones last week. So this is reduced from £20 down to £10, and what I love about the pinch of naan recipes is that they don't taste healthy, but they definitely are. Everything in this book is under 400 calories. Whilst I did say in my 2020 goals video that I won't be doing like a specific diet this year, I don't think, I mean, never say never, I could end up going back to Slimming World at some point. But what I really want to focus on this year is being a bit healthier, eating some really nice healthy food. Any food related videos that I do on this channel are probably going to be quite healthy because I do try and shop as healthy as possible when I do my food shopping. I like to eat healthy food, it makes me feel good. I can't sit here and say that every single week I will sit down and meal plan and write a shopping list, because that doesn't always happen, but it's definitely something that I want to get into doing more because I feel much more organised. I feel like I've got much more structure to my week. Planning as much as you can for the week ahead just keeps your stress levels nice, and I'm going to think of some meal ideas for the week, get them jotted down now using my pinch of naan book, and I'll have a little flick through this free and easy Slimming World book that I've had for years as well, just for a little bit of inspo. I'll also be incorporating some bog standard meals into the mix that I know the recipes off by heart for. I'm going to write down now in this weekly planner that I got from Sainsbury's ages and ages ago. It's got Monday to Sunday written on here, so all my meals and everything I can plan, and then I can write down the ingredients that I need in my little book, which I will show you now. This little book is also from Sainsbury's. I always find that the stationery in Sainsbury's is really, really good. I can write my shopping lists in this and it will fit into my pocket or my handbag, and it's not going to take up too much room. Just to give you an idea of budget, we have £130 each that goes into a current account. So every payday I will put in £130 and he will put in £130. If we need a little bit extra for whatever reason, we will add a little bit more into that account. £260 goes in collectively. £60 of that is spent on the cat, so that covers his food and his litter and his treats for the month. Now, generally I will spend anything between £30 a week and say £60–70. It really all depends on what it is I'm buying. Some weeks I don't need as much meat, so it doesn't cost as much. Generally everything averages out, and we always spend about £200 a month on our food shopping. I think it's always good to have a guideline of what it is that you want to spend. So now I'm just going to get writing down some recipe ideas, write my shopping list, and then I'm going to pop to Aldi. So before I do anything else, I get in touch with Tom and get him to check his calendar, see where he is for the week ahead. So if he's got a work commitment or he's got a meal out with friends or something like that, I probably won't go to the trouble of making a recipe out of the pinch of naan book that's for 4 people. There's going to be leftovers and it's just not worth it. So what I will do is I'll just make something quick on a day like that. You can apply this to your lifestyle. So say for instance you've got a child and they've got a swimming lesson on a Wednesday night, you might just want to get something convenient for that day so that you're not buying loads of fresh ingredients and ending up wasting them because you don't have time to cook. I'll also check my diary and see what plans I've got. So if I'm going out with a friend for tea one night, I probably won't cook, and I will just pick something up like a pizza for Tom that he can just shove in the oven, because there's no way he's going to be cooking for just himself. That just won't happen. So I can get a good idea of the kinds of food that we need. I'll then check my recipe books and see if there's anything in there that's taking my fancy, anything I'm going to look forward to cooking that week. I'll also try and find recipes that have similar ingredients so that you're not spending loads and loads of money on loads of different ingredients and ending up with loads of fresh stuff left over that you're going to have to bin. So the first recipe that's caught my eye is this king prawn and broccoli stir fry. I just think that that looks really good. So I'm going to start jotting some of the ingredients down for that recipe and decide what night we are going to have that on. As it requires quite a lot of fresh ingredients, I think the best thing to do is plan that in for the beginning of the week so that it doesn't get to say Thursday next week and I've got a gone off broccoli and I need to go out and buy a fresh one. So I know a lot of you will be watching this video, will be busy mums, you'll be working full time and you're probably thinking, I do not have the time at the weekend to be sitting down doing this. But honestly, it will save you more time in the long run. You're not going to be in the supermarket trying to think of meal ideas on the spot. And honestly, it takes 10 minutes to do and it will probably save you a bit of money as well. I've seen another few recipes that I want to try out as well. There's a quesadilla recipe that I will show you in a minute what the picture looks like. But one of my top tips, I would say, for going shopping is making sure that you always have a pound coin in your car. I know that that sounds like so simple, but it definitely just makes the whole experience a lot less stressful, so you don't have to be going over to the tills asking for change and things like that. And also another tip is to keep shopping bags in the boot of your car at all times. After you've been shopping, just go back out to your car, stick those bags in your boot, and then you're not having to buy bags all the time. Now I'm going to go shopping, guys, and I will show you what I have bought when I get back. Okay, so this is this week's food shop. I'm just going to talk through with you the meals that I am making. This is going to definitely cover breakfast, lunches, teas for the week, snacks, all of our snacks for over the weekend and then some. So I did spend £78, but over here you can see I did get some things that we didn't particularly need. They are like just the nice little bits that I wanted to add. Really, I would say that the food itself came to £70. Might seem a lot for a couple, but considering every single meal will be covered. So yeah, I'm just going to start over here because this is all the stuff for like breakfast stuff. So over the weekend we will probably have poached eggs on toast one day with this bread. We may have a bacon roll. The bacon we've already actually got in the fridge. Then we've got some fruit and I will usually have raspberries. So I bought 2 packs of raspberries that will last sort of like over the weekend and during the week. With these yogurts, these are definitely just an option for next week, but if you can see the date on those, they last forever. Like, well, no, not forever, but these yogurts will last me until the beginning of next month. So if I don't get through them this week, they will spill over into next week, so it's absolutely fine. The unsweetened almond milk is for my coffee. I really like to have that in coffee, and that this milk is just to last over the weekend if we have people coming around for cups of tea. We've got milk in, and I needed to get Tom some sachets of porridge because he has porridge for breakfast at work, but they didn't have any boxes of the instant oat sachets, so I just got him a couple of these little tubs just to keep him going until he has a chance to go and pick some porridge oats up, which will probably cost him what, about £3. But I picked him up these in the meantime. He doesn't like the plain flavours, so this one is an apple and blueberry one, and then he's got a golden syrup one. And then these cereal bars, the fruit and fibre ones, they are like the, what are they called, the Cadbury ones, the brunch bars. They are 112 calories, high in fibre. They've got a little bit of chocolate on them, so they're like quite good as a treat. But I just thought that they would be handy to have in over the weekend because we usually wake up late, don't have breakfast, and we want to grab something on the way out, which means that all the fruit will come in handy as well. So I got some easy peelers here, some Pink Lady apples. It's all sort of like breakfasty, snacky bits and bobs. It's Friday, we're going to be staying in tonight, so I'm going to be making a king prawn stir fry out of the Everyday Light pinch of non-buck. That I thought the recipe just looked really good. So for that recipe you need 2 types of broccoli. You need this broccoli here and that type of broccoli as well, so I picked up the tender stem as well. I'll use half of that and then half in another meal with chilies and prawns and the light soy sauce. So that is tonight's meal sorted. The salmon here, I'm actually going to freeze this and use it for another meal, probably next week, with one of these packs of rice because I absolutely love this rice from Aldi. It's the coconut chilli and lemongrass rice, and it goes really well with just a piece of salmon and some broccoli or some asparagus or something like that, or maybe potatoes instead of your rice. I also picked up this whole grain rice because it's just handy to have in. I love these pouches of rice, it's just so easy and convenient. So Saturday we're actually out for a meal, but whilst we are in the morning, we'll be having something from over here for breakfast, and possibly maybe like a pita with some salad and a bit of meat or something at lunchtime. Over here you can see that I've bought a chicken in the bag and some of these really easy winter roast vegetables that I can just pop in the oven on Sunday, so that when we're out visiting family and things like that, I don't need to be worrying about making a full roast dinner from scratch, because this is just really handy to have. It's not something that I would do every single week, buying conveniently like this, but I think it works fine, and this is probably the only meal that I've got here where things are already prepped. So I'll be adding carrots to that, and I'll also be using some of the carrots in there to go with snacks, but I'll show you that after. I then picked up a big pack of chicken breast fillets. This is 1.7 kilos, and how many chicken breasts are in there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's 8 chicken breasts in there, and they are massive as well. And I'm making quite a few meals with that chicken this week. So one of the recipes that I'm doing is pesto and mozzarella chicken. I've already got some baby potatoes in, and I will just do some veg with it as a meal. I've bought the lettuce and cucumber over there. And one of the other recipes that I'm doing is the quesadillas from the Pinch of Nom Everyday Light recipe book. And for that you need mixed beans, some more mozzarella so I can split that up. I'm also doing that with mango salsa as well, which is why I bought this mango, and that was actually on Super 6 as well, so that was really cheap and it's ripe and ready to go for when I want to do that recipe. So I've also got some tin stuff here, so I always shop really cheap with my tin stuff. I never get the expensive tinned stuff. I just think if you're throwing things into a chilli, if you're throwing this into like a one pot meal or whatever, it really doesn't need to be the expensive stuff. So I always go cheap with my tin stuff. I then got some red wine vinegar because a lot of the recipes that I want to try in the Pinch of Nom recipe book require red wine vinegar. I needed some of this because I had ran out. A lot of recipes that I do require this, like my spag bol, which is another thing that I will be making this week using this lean pork mince. I'll need the mushrooms for that, some chopped tomatoes. I got some mixed herbs as well because I'd ran out of those, so that I picked those up. I got some red lentils because they're really good for thickening up soups and making them a bit more hearty and filling. I just thought they would be handy to have in the cupboard because I know I don't have any of those in at the moment. So over the weekend, Tom loves these crisps here, so I put these up for him to snack on because he loves them. But I'm going to try and have like a more healthy alternative and have some of this reduced fat hummus, which I can either use some of the carrots here to dip in, some of the celery, or if I'm feeling a bit more hungry and I want it to be a bit more of a treat, I'll have a pita instead. One of the other meals that I'm making this week is the chicken ratatouille from the Pinch of Nom Everyday Light book. So I bought a loose aubergine. I got a sweet potato anyway, just for any of the other meals that I want to have sweet potato with instead of white potatoes. And then for the chicken ratatouille, I need red onion, courgettes, peppers, and baby plum tomatoes, which were also on the Super 6 this week. I then got my favourite peppermint tea. These are amazing. If you haven't tried them and you have IBS or you struggle with like bloating and things like that, these are incredible for digestion. We have a bean to cup coffee machine, so I got some coffee beans. I then got some Diet Coke. I wouldn't usually drink fizzy drinks during the week. I usually stick to water or no added sugar, Vimto or something like that, or coffee and tea. But at weekends, if I'm craving like a wine or whatever and I just want something a bit different, I might switch it up and have a Coke instead. These are the little bits that I didn't really need, but I just wanted. I feel like if you're going to go to Aldi and get this much shopping thrown in your face at the checkout, then you can treat yourself to a £1.79 bunch of tulips. I actually got 2 of them. I also treated myself to this candle here, which is Opium Noir. Sorry about that, everybody. My battery died, so I had to charge it up. And in the meantime, whilst I was charging it up, I put my tulips in a vase. So you can see that one bunch wouldn't have been enough to really fill that. I don't know why they're drooping already, but I was talking to you about this candle, Opium Noir, and as soon as I saw the name of it, I thought, I wonder if this smells like my favourite perfume, which is YSL Black Opium, and it does. So that was one of the things that I didn't really need to buy. It wasn't on my list, but I ended up getting it anyway. So I saw this and for 99p I thought I need to pick this up. I love the game Mr. and Mrs. and I just thought, well, I need that. I put this on the pile of stuff that we didn't really need but I bought anyway. I put this dark chocolate on the list of things that we didn't really need as well. We have got other stuff in to be snacking on. But Tom gets a bit cranky if I haven't got him some like nice bits. In the clip where I was jotting everything down, there definitely is a method to what I'm doing, so I'll talk you through it and it will make more sense. So I've dated all the dates of this week, starting with today the 7th, and I'm only really concentrating on our main meals. We can sort of wing everything else now with the ingredients that we've got. But tonight we are having the king prawn chilli and broccoli stir fry. So I will be opening a broccoli, which will then be used on Sunday when I do a roast dinner. So I'm not having any waste of that particular vegetable that I've bought. I know we're talking a few pence here, but I hate throwing food away. I find it so wasteful and it makes me feel really guilty. Saturday, like I said, we are out, so if we move over to the beginning of next week, Monday the 10th, I'll be making a spaghetti bolognese. I put mushrooms in mine and I find that they can go really soggy really quickly, so I want to get them used at the beginning of the week, which is why I've said spag bol for Monday. Also, it's a really easy meal. It takes me about half an hour to make and there's not much prepping involved, so I thought that was just like a nice way of easing myself into a new week. Tuesday, I'll be working till 4:30 and then I'm going to do the chicken ratatouille because that requires all of that sort of Mediterranean type veg like the courgettes. That's what it looks like in the recipe book, so I'm hoping that it looks like that when I make it. I don't have any fresh basil, but that wouldn't stop me from making a recipe. I really think that like fresh basil leaves are only for garnish anyway, like they don't really add anything. I've got dried basil if I need it. So this is where I'll be using the aubergine and everything. Sweet potato lasts about 20 million years, so I probably don't need to use that on Tuesday. But if I make sweet potato mash with that meal, I think that that would go really nicely instead of white potatoes, which is what is recommended there. So I've also written down the number of the page in the recipe book so that I'm not scrambling around trying to find it midweek. I know exactly what I'm looking for. Because there's a lot of fresh vegetables to be used in this recipe, I think it's just a good idea to get rid of them all earlier in the week so you're not left with them towards the end of the week and they start going bad. Although Aldi stuff generally is quite good for that, it usually keeps quite well. On Wednesday we are having quesadillas. I've already got the wraps in for these and they haven't been opened yet, so they will last a while. I'm going to be using the Weight Watchers tortilla wraps because I think that they will keep the calories down, they're nice and healthy, they're a good size still. But I don't want that mango to go out of date by leaving it later on in the week, so I'm going to be using that on Wednesday. For the quesadillas I need to use half of that mozzarella, so that's why on the next day I'm going to be using mozzarella in that recipe too, because I don't want to leave it more than one day open. Do you see what I'm trying to do now? I'm not using quesadillas on a Monday and then leaving that mozzarella open until Thursday when I do this dish. So a little bit of planning can help you save a lot of money and make you a little bit less wasteful. So I'll be using whatever leftover veg we have from the week in this meal, so I'll make pesto mozzarella chicken and I'll have veg on the side. And then it will be the start of a brand new week of shopping, and next Friday is Valentine's Day, so who knows, Tom might take me out for a nice meal. I really hope that this video has helped and give you a little bit of meal inspiration. Whilst I've got this book in front of me, I may as well just have a little flick through and show you some of the meals that are in here. All of these meals I think serve 4 people, which means that you're going to get leftovers for the next day, or it's going to be okay if you've got, say, a family of 4. You can always tweak the recipes, so for instance you could take the chilli out of the stir fry, you could change it to chicken if the kids don't like prawns or whatever. But yeah, I hope this gives you some ideas. I'm thinking that my next video will be me actually talking you through the recipes out of this book, sort of demonstrating the recipes, reviewing them. I could even get Tom to rate them out of 10. So I think that that would be quite a fun video idea. So if you enjoyed this video today, give it a big thumbs up for me please. Hit that subscribe button as well down below, and I will see you in my next one. Thanks for watching everybody. Bye.